Hey everyone, today we're jumping into this really simple but honestly super powerful story. It's called The New Emperor, and it's all about leadership and integrity. Stuff that feels more important today than maybe ever before. All right, let's get right into it.
So, let's start with a big question, one that this whole story is built around. If you had to choose a new leader, for anything really, what's the one thing, the one quality you'd look for above everything else? It's a tough one, right? Well, this story has a pretty fascinating take on it.
Okay, so here's the scene. You've got this emperor, somewhere in the Far East, and he's getting old. He knows it's time to hang it up, to pass the torch, and this isn't just any old decision. This is the decision of his entire life, of his entire reign. You can just imagine the pressure he's under.
And this is where things get really interesting. He could have taken the easy way out, right? Just picked one of his kids or a top advisor. That's the predictable move. But he had this gut feeling that the real qualities of a leader, well, you can't find those on a resume or in your family tree. He was looking for something else, something deeper. So what does he do? He calls together all the young people in the entire kingdom. And he drops this absolute bombshell. He basically says, hey everyone, it's time for me to step down, and I've decided to choose one of you. Can you imagine being in that crowd? Not a prince, not some high-ranking official, but one of them. The kids must have been just completely stunned. So here's his big plan. And it's not what you'd expect. It's not a test of strength or who's the smartest person in the room. Nope. He gives every single one of them a seed. Just one. And he calls it a very special seed. He tells them that everything, their future, the kingdom's future, it all hinges on what happens with this one little seed. And the instructions? Deceptively simple. Step 1, take the seed. Step 2, plant it. Step 3, water it and take care of it for a whole year. And finally, step 4, come back and show me what you've grown. The one who does the best job, he says, becomes the next emperor. Sounds simple, doesn't it? Almost too simple. So now we meet our main character, a boy named Ling, and he's totally pumped about this. He's just like all the other kids, hopeful, excited, He rushes home, tells his mom this incredible news, and gets right to work. He finds the perfect pot, the best soil, and so carefully plants his seed. He is absolutely determined to give this his all.
But Ling's year doesn't exactly go to plan. In fact, it's kind of like watching a disaster in slow motion. 3 weeks go by. Nothing. 5 weeks? Still nothing. And all the while, he's hearing the other kids bragging about their amazing sprouts and growing plants. 6 months in, and he just feels like a complete failure. He's sure he must have killed his seed. And when that full year is finally over, after all that work, all that daily watering, all he has is an empty pot, just a pot full of dirt.
I mean, look at this. The difference on that final day is just, wow. It really is a tale of two pots, isn't it? You've got Ling's pot over here, completely empty, basically screaming failure. And then you have everyone else's pots, overflowing with these huge trees and gorgeous plants, all looking like total success. You can just feel the pressure and the shame he must be feeling in that moment.
So Ling is just devastated. He doesn't even want to show up at the palace. I mean, who would? He's so ashamed. But this is where his mom steps in with some really, really important advice. She tells him, you have to go. You have to be honest. You promised the emperor you'd bring him your result after 1 year. And honey, an empty pot is your result.
So, with his stomach in knots, Ling does it. He takes his empty pot and he goes to the palace. And when he gets there, it's even worse than he thought it would be. The place looks like a full-blown botanical garden. There are these incredible, amazing plants everywhere. And then there's Ling, in the middle of it all, just holding a pot of dirt. And of course, the reaction from the other kids is, well, it's exactly what you'd fear. They start laughing at him, mocking him. A couple of them kind of look at him with pity, which is almost worse, right? He feels so humiliated, he just tries to disappear, hiding himself in the very back of the crowd.
And then the emperor shows up. He's walking through the room, looking at all these amazing plants, saying things like, wow, incredible job. But then he stops. His eyes scan the room, right to the very back, and he spots Ling trying to hide with his empty pot. The emperor points and tells his guards, bring him to the front. Ling must be absolutely terrified. He's probably thinking, this is it. He's going to call me out as a failure. He's going to have me thrown in jail or worse.
So the guards drag poor Ling up to the front, right in front of everybody.
The whole room goes silent. Everyone's just waiting to see what punishment this kid who failed so badly is going to get. And then, in that silence, the emperor does the last thing anyone expects. He takes Ling's hand, lifts it high, and shouts, "Behold your new emperor. His name is Ling."
What? I mean, the crowd is just in total shock. Ling himself can't believe it. You can almost hear everyone thinking the same thing. How? How is this possible? This kid couldn't even grow a single seed. How on earth could he be the new emperor? None of it makes any sense.
And then the emperor quiets everyone down and finally lets them in on the secret. He looks out at all of them and says, "A year ago, I gave every one of you a seed. But what I didn't tell you is that all of those seeds had been boiled. It was literally impossible for them to grow." And just like that, the truth hits everyone like a ton of bricks. The emperor continues, "When you saw that your seed wouldn't grow, you panicked. You swapped it out for a different one so you'd have something to show me. Think about that. Every single one of those beautiful plants in the room was a lie. Only one person had the courage to be honest."
So you see, this was never, ever about gardening. Not at all. It was a test of character. The emperor wasn't looking for the best gardener. He was looking for honesty. He was looking for integrity. He was looking for the one person who had the courage to show up with their true result, even if that result looked like a complete and total failure. And Ling was the only one who passed the real test.
And that's really the core lesson of this whole story, isn't it? When you boil it all down, the only seed that can truly grow into real leadership is honesty.
Which kind of leaves us with a big question for ourselves, doesn't it? In our own lives, at work, at school, with our friends and family, what are the empty pots that we're trying to hide? And more importantly, what could happen if we actually had the courage to just be honest about them? It's a tough one, but definitely something worth thinking about.